The designer of Fruit Ninja has a new game in the works, and it's launching later this month. An exciting new indie has been announced for September, and Jonathan Blow is less than thrilled over sales figures for a recent release. Hell, that's not even the biggest news of the week. Hello everyone, and welcome to I Dream of Indie Games. My name is Old Gamer Joe, and we are coming at you once again with the latest indie game news for the week that was July 29th, rolling through August 2nd of 2024. Be sure to like and subscribe if you love indies as much as we do, and head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames where you can gain Discord access to the greatest indie gaming community, early ad-free shows, so much more, and of course you'll be supporting indie visibility. And don't forget we have live streams right here on the channel and over at twitch.tv/idreamofindiegames Tuesdays and Thursdays. Alright, let's get right into the news because there's a good amount this week. I'm sure many of you have played Half Brick Studios' Fruit Ninja in some capacity, or if you haven't, you've at least witnessed someone playing it at the arcade on their tablet. You know, the one with the fruit that flies at the screen while you slash at it with various sharp objects? Well, developer Luke Muscat has a new roguelike project releasing later this month called Feed the Deep. You, the player, will dive into deep, procedurally generated undersea caves and collect resources and loot. There's also the promise of Lovecraftian vibes, which I know a lot of you can't resist. This is Muscat's first solo project, and the simple yet addicting gameplay looks like something that could really catch on with that one more run crowd. So I'm excited to dive in when it releases on August 16th. Story number 2, a release date was announced for Spiral, an upcoming narrative adventure title from Folklore Games. This isn't Reznor's Downward Spiral. Instead, this game tells the story of Bernard Penfield, a writer reminiscing of the many adventures of his life as his memories slowly deteriorate. The art in the game looks incredibly striking, and with such important yet difficult themes as grief and cognitive degeneration, I just know I'm going to need to have a tissue box handy to play through this one. Spiral will be releasing September 20th, so you won't need to wait long to reminisce on these heartfelt memories. Next story, the Jackbox Megapicker is here, and it might be breaking Steam decks? Sure, it sounds great to have one platform for which you can launch all your favorite Jackbox titles, but at what cost? Well, you might want to hold off before downloading this picker for your deck, as developers posted on the official Jackbox Steam forum advising of the potential risk. Quote, "Unfortunately, at this time, we've seen a handful of reports coming in regarding issues with the Megapicker on Steam decks. Our engineering and QA teams are working hard to resolve this issue and hope to get everyone back on track in no time." It appears that the crash was due to the Megapicker corrupting Steam OS, which then required users to reinstall the OS entirely. At the time of compiling this show, it looks like there are a few quick fixes out there now, though the developers have been working on more stable fixes for a currency bug as well as controller support too. As a huge Jackbox fan, I sincerely hope they're able to get the Megapicker in proper working order, because it's definitely something I'll be using, but for now I'm going to keep it far away from my deck. Next up, Panic Games will host a showcase on August 27th, featuring exciting trailers and behind-the-scenes looks at some awesome titles via Panic's YouTube and Twitch channels. The showcase will include interviews with some of the development team from recent releases, and Golden Genie winner Thank Goodness You're Here, as well as 2023's Noir Play With Your Food. Developers Okomotive will also be revealing their latest project following their previous releases Far Lone Sails and Far Changing Tides. It sounds like this title will be a brand new IP with very little details known at this time, but more information to come following the official reveal at Gamescom's opening night live on August 20th. The Panic Showcase will provide a more in-depth look at the development behind the scenes, sure to get fans excited for what's to come. So you may or may not know this, but Braid Anniversary Edition released in May of this year, celebrating the treasured indie puzzle platformer that was released a decade and a half prior. The Anniversary Edition includes gorgeously reimagined art and 15 hours of commentary about the development process with developer Jonathan Blow, artist David Hellman, and other folks that worked on the project. The remaster was released with little to no fanfare or marketing to speak of, at least not that I saw, and I literally spend most of my time in the indie gaming sphere, so it's no surprise that sales are not looking great. Factor in a pretty bad economy, and yeah, just sort of a recipe for disaster. Blow revealed that he was originally optimistic about sales, but later expressed his disappointment and frustration, all this despite mostly positive reviews and scores for the game. You know, thinking back to the re-release of Brothers earlier this year that dealt with similarly poor sales and a considerably worse reception, it does make you wonder what market there truly is for these remakes and remasters in today's indie gaming world, especially considering how many games release on any given day, week, month, or year. While I certainly empathize with Blow wanting to remaster his game to reach its full visual and artistic potential, I fear poor sales like this may dissuade other developers from putting more time and money into remastering their games. It's a real shame. Let me know your thoughts. Did you know the Braid Anniversary Edition was releasing? Do you buy remastered versions of your favorite titles, or do you prefer to go back to the original? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And now news from Inin. A remake for the underwater shmup X-Out has been announced. Originally released for the home computer way back in 1990, this classic was well loved and thought of as a very unique game for its time, considering that it took place entirely underwater. Now, some 35 years later, this remake will feature better graphics, gameplay, and more while staying true to the original. While there's not a ton of details available just yet, the trailer is available for you to enjoy right now, and the game will be releasing whenever it releases across all major platforms. As for what was featured right here at the channel this week, we have a ton of videos for you to enjoy. If you missed any of them, don't worry, I've got you covered. Links in the description box below. As we do every Monday, we kicked off the week with a new episode of upcoming indie releases, which featured 11 indie games for this week. Remember that patrons always get this show quite a bit early and ad and sponsor free. We also had plenty of reviews, including the hilarious Thank Goodness You're Here, which had silent signs rolling. This was also streamed on our channel. Minds Beneath Us, a sci-fi tech thriller, was reviewed, and Slice of Life sim Closer the Distance was also fully reviewed. If that weren't enough, we have one more review for you, nice and early, from the SteamWorld franchise. SteamWorld Heist 2 is locked and loaded. We will have links to everything again in the description box below. Thank you for your continued support of independent content, and see you next week.